Hello, my name is Elizabeth, but you can call me Liz, and in today's video we will be talking about Oblivion Battery, where there's more Oblivion than Battery.
Do this shit until they murder me.
So I even took notes of like what happened each episode, because I was like, I feel sometimes when I do these videos and I get to the plot, I lose the plot and I just start talking. So I feel like hopefully this way will be a lot more easier to follow and understand. So basically, if you haven't seen my videos, I basically go through the general info, the characters and who their voice actors are, and where you might have heard these voice actors, the plot, and my thoughts all throughout here. So let's get started. Okay, this is the only hat that I have that looked baseball-ish. So, Oblivion Battery, the Japanese name is Bokyaku Battery. It's a 12-episode anime, which about like 23 episodes each. It aired between April 24 to July 24, making it a spring 2024 anime. The animators are MAPPA, and it's obviously a comedy, sports, shonen, and school type of genre. But let's talk about the characters. So this is who is basically our baseball team. You don't have to worry about the two senpais or the other two other ones. We'll basically focus just on them. Okay, so first we're gonna have Kaname Kei, who is voiced by Miyano Mamoru, who is Dazai in Bungo Stray Dogs. I feel like he has a very you can identify his voice so fast, especially when he's being silly. And with Kaname Kei, he is part of a duo with Haruka Kiyomine, and they were back in middle school. They were known as a diabolical battery. He was known as a former commander. Currently in his first year in high school, he has amnesia, so he doesn't remember anything about baseball. He throws right and bats left. Then we have Haruka Kiyomine, who is voiced by Toshiki Masuda, who is Kirishima in Boku no Hero Academia. He is a monster pitcher. The only one who can really catch his pitches is Kaname Kei, childhood friend with Kaname Kei, super stoic, super self-centered, and selfish. Taro Yamada, who is voiced by Yuki Kaji, who is Eren on Attack on Titan. He is a first year. His dreams were crushed by this duo. He's super nice, super friendly. And then we have Aoi Todom, who is voiced by Yohei Azakami, who has been Ron Kumonohashi and Ron Kumonohashi Detective, which you should definitely watch too, because it's a really good one too. His dreams were crushed. He has something known as yeeps, which is basically he has hand spasms because of his dreams were crushed by the duo. He lives with his older sister and younger sister. Shunpei Shihaya, who is voiced by Nobunaga Shimizaki, who is Shin Azukura in Sakamoto Days. Super intelligent. Thinks baseball is all about theory instead of physiques. Dreams were crushed, likes music. That's how he copes. He is second base and leadoff hitter. Kazuki Tsuchiya, who is voiced by Yoshitaka Yamaya, who is Junpei and Jujutsu Kaisen. Likes 2D baseball more than 3D baseball. Hates the hierarchy. So any baseball, I guess in Japan, it's first, second year, you have to respect your seniors, and they treat them like older, younger is shit. He hates that hierarchy, which understandable. And he is center and third field. Anyone else, obviously, any other anime, there's a bunch of other characters. They're side characters, and we only care about them for an episode or two, but we won't worry about them right now. Okay, so plot. These two, Kaname Kei and Haruka Kiyomine, were childhood friends, started playing baseball since elementary school. Kaname Kei absolutely hated it when he first started, but because Kiyomine, he was like, I want to play baseball with you. He agreed. And then once they were in middle school, Kaname Kei was super disciplined, didn't eat anything bad, and trained Haruka to be a really good pitcher, and he's the only one that can catch these pitches. They go to a public high school, Kotesashi High School, and Yamada's like, oh, I'm just gonna go to this high school. It doesn't have a baseball team. It's not known for anything. It's a super public school. Whatever. I won't meet them ever again. his dreams are crushed again because he meets them, and Kaname Kei goes and runs to him thinking they were friends before. This man was like, "You've crushed my dreams. I've never actually talked to you before." Then he realizes that Kaname Kei is acting a little bit very dumb and foolish and silly, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that this was you out of the field." And then they're like, "Yeah, well, he has amnesia." And at first he doesn't believe them because what do you mean? But then he believes them because like Kaname Kei is acting like this foolish, silly person. Apparently he finds out that Kiyomine went to the same high school with Kaname Kei because he wants to keep playing baseball with him. He wants him to be his battery. I'll talk about like the episodes where I think like are important. Obviously all the episodes are important, but like the ones that caught my attention most. Episode 2 is where we meet the other two, both Aoi, Todo, and Chihaya. And they're like, "Oh my god, you were the ones who," like, they were also defeated very badly by the combi duo. And they're like, "Oh, well, I never want to play baseball. I actually quit it. Like, I throw away my glove. Like, I don't do that anymore." And Kiyomine is like, "Are you okay with staying defeated?" Which are very much fighting words in terms of baseball. Because obviously they're not okay with being defeated. They're like, "I don't want to stay defeated." And they are able to talk it out, play it out, and finally they're able to basically start playing with the rest of them. Episode 5 is when they lost their first practice match. They meet this other player who's like has heard of the commander and everything, but they don't know that he's also has amnesia, so they are expecting him to be like this super stoic commander, and he's not anymore. He's very much like very silly, very like playful, very like, "Oh, I don't want to do this, it hurts," like, ugh. So obviously this other player is like, "You were not the person who I thought you were." Because obviously when he played back in middle school, they were like, "Oh my god, these two are killers, like my dreams were crushed, my hopes were crushed, and then this is the person who defeated me." So obviously they lost their like first practice match, but this is a very decisive movement for both Kiyomine, Todo-san, and Chihaya, because these were really great players when they were in middle school, but they all turned down going to these super fancy baseball oriented high schools. And so Yamada's like, "Oh no, they're gonna realize like, hey, we suck, they deserve to be like in one of these super prestigious like baseball only high schools." And it's a very decisive episode because all three of them decide that they kind of want to keep playing in this weird little league that they have in this random ass public high school. Kiyomine is like, "Well, I want to keep playing baseball with Kaname Kei. He is the, like, we will win no matter wherever we are. I want him to be my specific battery and no one else." Aoi, Todo, and Shunpei Chihaya are both very much like, "Yeah, I guess we'll stay because like we put on this work." And I think they just realized that it's very fun to be in a place like this where they don't really like, it's not super like, the expectations are very high. Episode 6 is where we find out that Todo has yips. Like I explained before, yips is like where it's a very like mental thing, I guess, because Todo-san got his dreams crushed by this duo, by the Diabolical Battery. He wasn't able to perform as top notch as he was doing before because he thought he was like super great and everything, and then these two middle schoolers who are the same age as him are able to defeat him. He starts having like trouble like throwing the ball, and instead of like throwing it in a straight line, it's like he falters and he falters and he falters, and some players are like, they can never get over it, so they just, and then Kaname Kei is like, "Well, why can't you just do a one hop?" Which is basically like throwing the ball, it hits the ground once and it goes. And that is able to help him because he goes from having a 0% chance to at least like a 40% chance. And he's like, "Well, I was at 0, so now I'm at 40, so that's at least something." Obviously, it's all still mental, so it's all something he has to work for, but it's also gives him hope that there's people supporting him. There's this specific way that he can continue to play and find it fun. Episode 8, we meet Tsuchiya. He is actually a second year, the rest are first years. He is the center field. He can handle 2D baseball, so when they first meet him, he's playing a 2D baseball game, and they realize like, he claims he hates baseball because of the hierarchy that he experienced back in middle school, because it was really hard, like practices were hard, like the seniors used to like be really bad to their juniors and everything. So because of that, he like hates it, and like, oh, there's big, strong, like scary baseball players, and obviously he has trauma. He realizes that with this team, at least, the only one who that really is like kind of like an asshole is Kiyomine, because he's very much like the epitome of pressure, and he is really, really fast, as well as Chihaya, but he's faster than Chihaya. And so Chihaya, like, once they finally convince him, like, hey, come at least play with us for like a little bit, he convinces him to do a jumping catch, because the body can't tense up when it's jumping, so he's able to catch the ball and he's able to join their team. Episode 9 is very like fun, because Kaname K wakes up one day. Mind you, they were like trying their best to bring back Kaname K, and like Tsuchiya decided that like maybe we can hypnotize him. I don't know if it was the hypnotizing one or the nostalgia that Chihaya did, or the hit from Aotodo, but like something happens where he's able to remember remember everything, and they get to play with the commander, which is just like insane, because like he's able to command not only Kiyomine, and basically Kiyomine becomes like his like trained dog, but like he's able to command everyone, and is able to get them another practice match. And then they realize like, this is the commander, this is who defeated us. He's able to talk to Chihaya, and they decide to like, they both start like planning on like strategy and everything, and people are like, oh my god, the commander is back. Like, it's such like an amazing moment, because you can see like who he was before, and it's like this super disciplined, super like, you will do this, you will do this, and you will not fail. Yeah, like you will succeed, and we will succeed as a team. And it's like very like, whoa. This is also, if you ever seen any of the TikToks, this is also where he goes to the batting center, and the other two like asshole seniors, they're also at this batting center, and like he does it wrong, and he's able to like do this cool, like, I feel like I've seen, that's how I knew about Oblivion Battery, because like I have seen this clip where it's like he regains his memory, and he's like pitch after pitch after pitch after pitch. And it's like, whoa, this is the commander, like, this is who, like, we got our dreams crushed from, like, this is so cool. And this is also where I was able to see how Kiyomine has actually been holding back. Because like I said, Kaname K is basically the one who made Kiyomine as the like diabolical picture that he is. He's the one who trained him to be this monster, and they're able finally to see this duo in action, and it's like something they were like, this is a duo that people were talking about, that they did magazines back when they were in middle school, and it's like such a whoa moment. I kind of liked it, because like you can see Kiyomine is like, he's playing at his best, at his utmost, and the only one who can truly catch his pitches is Kaname K, so it's very like, ooh. So because the commander, Kaname K, is able to get them a practice match, they go to this practice match, which is around episode 10 and 11, but then it's also very much like, he starts slowly like losing his memory, like, because he starts acting a little bit like a combination of like the commander, but also this dumb Kaname K one, this silly one. They're like, oh no, we have to do something, because I think he's about to reverse back somehow. I don't know how amnesia works here, but he's somehow about to reverse back to how he was before he was the commander. Episode 11 is where we find out more about Chihaya's past. He basically, so because he was shorter in middle school, he decided to start binge eating so he can like build up muscle, but it didn't work. Then he decided that baseball isn't really about your stature or how bulky you are, it's more about strategy, which in a way it is. So he became like really smart and really like textbook baseball, and how to use these like things, and how to like go around the rules. But at the same time, because he did that, he basically undermined all his other teammates, because he was like, oh, I'm jealous of you, like, oh, you were born with this height and this and that. But at the same time, it's like undermining their own like struggles and their own like hard work So he's able to see, like, he's like, oh my god, there's these walls that I just can't, like, go through. And at the end, he chooses his trust over pride. He chooses to trust Kaname K that he will be able to win for them over his own pride of, like, being like, yeah, I can do this, if that makes sense. Decide to trust Kaname K even if he is the dumb one now and not the commander. Which brings us to episode 12. He's been working throughout all this time how to not necessarily be the commander, but how to understand baseball. Because in the first episode, Kiyomine was like practicing pitching with Yamada and one of the asshole like senpais, and he himself got really mad. Like he didn't know why, but he got really mad because he knew, like, he was just like throwing slow pitches so that way Yamada could catch them, and they're able to win this first practice match. This is the second match that they've had, like, as a no-name, like, high school, public high school, and they're able to win this practice match against one of the top four. Kanamake is able to be like, hey, baseball's really fun, like, winning is fun. And then we, like, at the end of the episode 12, like, after all the credits, if there was one thing you could forget, what would you forget about? And here's the thing about baseball, or about being the catcher. You're right there with the person who is about to swing, and once you see their dreams crushed, you can see their faces. You can see how, like, slowly they start losing confidence. And he himself, Kanamake, told Ayomi, you are gonna become a killer and I will be your accomplice. We're gonna kill each of these baseball players by killing their confidence. That's how you kill them. Because if they have no more confidence in their skills, then he kind of was like, well, if you don't have confidence in middle school, what makes you think you can go on to high school or like college or whatever, far beyond all of this? Like, kind of like convinced Kiyomi in it, like, don't worry about the other team. I will make you the best pitcher there is in Japan, and you don't have to worry about anything else. We're gonna become the killers, and we're gonna crush all these dreams and hopes and confidence in all of these other players. And you can see him crossing out Aoi Todo, Shunpei Chihaya, Tauro Yamada, and it's like their dreams were crushed. They were defeated. But the thing is that he can't sleep anymore. He's in his third year of middle school. He can't sleep anymore because he can't get these faces out of his head. These soulless, crushed faces out of his head. So he can't sleep anymore. And he starts watching this, like, girly anime of, like, girls, like, living out their high school, like, life. And it's like, oh, peace and love, and we're gonna have boyfriends, and it's this and that. And that's the first thing he says in episode 1, is peace and love. He keeps saying he wants to live this pretty high school normal life with peace and love. Never explain how he got amnesia, but just that he got amnesia. But finally he's like, I can't run away from this, because no matter how much I run away from baseball itself, it's still something that he absolutely loves, and it's something that he's conditioned to do because he's been doing this since he was in elementary school. So it's like, I can't run anymore because winning baseball is fun. Like, baseball is still fun. Like, I think it's a good representation of, like, what it is to play a sport. Other sports animes, you can kind of see it, like, with in Haikyuu, where they kind of, like, lose this first match and they're, like, super sad, but then they get, like, over it and, like, blah blah blah, and it continues. But I think this one is really good because it kind of shows that, especially when you're younger, like, this all happened when they were in middle school. So when all these people meet Kanamike and Kiyomine, this, like, diabolical battery, they're in their first year of high school. They're barely, like, 10th graders. And they're like, how can this be? And they all have, like, this trauma because their dreams and hopes were crushed back when they were in middle school, and they quit baseball. But they realized they can't quit something that they love. Even if they quit, they couldn't, like, throw away both Chihaya and Aoi Todo. They couldn't throw away their gloves. Like, no matter how much they hated it, and no matter how much they were like, yeah, you know, I have so much free time, or I'm gonna start fighting everyone, they just couldn't, like, forget about it. And I think it's a really good representation of being like, no matter how much you think you're good at something, there will always be someone who is better. There will always be someone who is faster. There will always be someone above you, basically. And it's like, you can either stay defeated or you can keep trying. So I feel like it's a good representation of like mental health, because especially with Connor McKay, he's the one who basically killed everyone by basically killing all their hopes and dreams of all the other players and their confidence. But because of that, he could see exactly what was going on in their face, because they couldn't like hit Kiyomine's like pitches. Because of that, he could see their faces and he could see the resentment, their hurt, and because of that, he himself couldn't sleep. Like I said, we don't really know how he gets amnesia. That's just that he has amnesia. And it's like, what would you want to forget? What would you want to forget in your life? Like I said, it's more Oblivion than Battery. You can get like a basic sense of like what baseball is, but you won't get like, oh, it's this and this and these people do this and these people do that. It's more like going through each person's like mental trauma and basically being, oh, well, if you can't like throw because you have the yips, maybe try one hop, keep trying. Or like, if you think it's all about strategy, then toss your pride over trust. And it's basically going to everyone's like, oh, mental struggles, mental trauma. It's kind of interesting when I think for a baseball anime, or just for in general a sports anime. Most other sports animes, they focus more on like them and the sport, and this one focuses more of them, their trauma, and the sport. Them, their Oblivion, and the sport. Let me know what you think. I feel like it's more Oblivion than Battery, but it also does a good job of like being like, hey, these people were middle schoolers and they went through all this trauma. Now they're in high school and now they're going through all this trauma. I don't know if there's a second season, but I think I would like to see that one, because I think for the second season it would be more like baseball oriented. Tell me what you think down below. You can follow me on my socials, and yeah, go watch Oblivion Battery. Leave a comment down below. Bye. See you. And I gotta hit my camera next time.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.